Hey guys, it's glad to be back. Gonna get back into the swing of things here after the evacuation and all that. It's been a little hectic, but I'm back to do the Room EQ tutorial video. And again, this is just going to be a cursory look at it. It's gonna, just kind of get you guys rolling to where you can start doing it on your own and just kind of explore from here. There's a lot more to learn from what I'm gonna give you, but it's a starting point. I'm hoping to demystify it a little bit here. As you can see here, I've got the two PB2000s over there, and I've got the PB16 Ultra there. That's been a lot of fun. And it looks like in April I'll be getting its matching twins. So looking forward to that. But today I'm going to focus mostly on the Room EQ Wizard. I guess we're going to be focusing on these subs because we're going to be taking measurements of those. But basically this is all about getting you guys used to taking these measurements and stuff. It sounds like I got Angel coming in the room here. But all right, so we'll get started here, and I'm going to make some assumptions here. I'm going to make some assumptions that you've already downloaded Room EQ Wizard. That you've got it matched up on your platform, whether it's Apple or PC, that kind of thing. I'm going to assume that you've got an HDMI cable to hook up your amplifier like I've got here. Just run from my laptop to my amplifier there and run it through the auxiliary. And then I'm also going to assume that you've got one of these mini DSP UMIC ones. It's a very good mic. It's reasonable, not too expensive. I'll put some links down there below. And excuse me. And I appreciate you guys clicking those links and before making your purchases. I don't know if you guys know how Amazon works, but essentially, if you click on an Amazon link and you buy anything that's eligible, I can get credit for it. So if you're gonna pick up the UMIC mic, that's awesome if you guys can follow that. Or if you're just gonna pick up a movie or something, that's cool too. It's just a little pay in the bills kind of stuff. It's one of those things, if you can do it, awesome. If not, I understand. But anyway, we'll go over and we'll start the Room EQ Wizard and basically just start it up here. And if it wants to, there we go. I had to adjust my icon size and everything, so everything's just kind of wonky here. But get it going. All right. So it's going to tell me, you want to download the new version. I'm just going to stick with what I've got for now. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plug in the UMIC one. All right. And then it's going to ask me for a calibration file. When you buy your UMIC one, they're going to email you a calibration file for it, and I'll show you what it looks like here in a second. But that calibration file really makes sure everything is proper and set up right. And where I put the microphone, by the way, is just on the back of my chair. It's I'm not getting too worried about exact placement. As you move the mic around the room, you'll get different measurements, and nothing's going to be perfect here. So all right, so we'll go to UMIC 1 detected, used for measurement. Yes. All right. Now it's going to open where I have that file set up at, and I think it's going to. There we go. All right, so this is what my calibration file looks like. It's the 7012283 right there. I know this is probably, I think I'm going to have to just do a lot of this for you guys here, but it's the 7012283. That just happens to be my file name. So I'll load it, and as you can see here, it's got all these calibrations in there. All right, so we'll go ahead and open that. And now this mic is set up for taking measurements on the program. Okay, so now I've got the amplifier set up, and I've got it at negative 25 dB. All right, now I should probably be doing it at 20, negative 20 dB. I think you'd get a little bit better measurements out of it. But what happened with me when I first started this up, I'll show you. We're just going to go ahead and go up to measure, which is up here in the corner here, and take a new measurement. Now, as we go down here, there's a couple of things. Let me zoom in here. Oops, sorry. This is Really, really professional video here. Now, if you're using, you know, great subs, it's probably okay to start with 0 frequency or 0 hertz frequency. But if you're starting off with subs that may not be phenomenal, you may want to bump this frequency up to about 20. I'm just going to run it up to about 10. Okay. Now, because I know that beyond that, yeah, I can't really hear anyway. I can only hear down to about 17 hertz. Okay, but I'm just going to set it to 10. And then the end frequency, I set it up to about 200. You can run this range anywhere you want, and you can take full range stuff. You know, there's all kinds of things you can do with this program, but 10 to 200 is pretty good if you're going to measure your sub. Okay, now this is what got me in trouble here. When I first started doing this, I had the PB1000s. And I did this. You click check levels. All right. So it kicks that out. And then it says level OK, negative 37.8 dB. Let me show you. That's what it says. Let me zoom back out. All right. So I kept turning it up and up and up for some reason. I don't remember exactly what happened. But I ended up taking these measurements that were just super loud, well over 120 dB in room. And it hurt my ears. It was seriously a couple weeks before my ears would kind of return to normal. So if you're just starting out, it might be a good idea to run some earplugs. Make sure the dogs and, you know, any sensitive ears aren't in the room, just until you get used to it. And once you get used to it, then you figure it out. Like right now I run it at negative 25 dB. It's no problem having the dogs in the house. So it's not a big deal. But another thing too is you want to make sure you keep your room quiet. You know, if you've got AC running or something like that, it's going to have somewhat of an impact on your measurements. The quieter it is, the better. And my laptop's got a fan that sounds like it's going out, so you guys might hear that. I don't know how good my mic is on my camera. But all right, so we check the levels. It says levels are okay, and then we're just going to click Start Measuring. And that's it. That's pretty much the big deal. That's taking a measurement. Now, I've got my kind of settings messed up here. This is a little bit different than what I'm used to because I was trying to make it easy for you guys to see. These graphs are going to look a little bit different on your screen. It's going to look more like this, okay? So now I want to do a couple disclaimers here. That PB16 Ultra has not been run through my room correction. It's just basic on the basic setting. It's on the same calibration as the PB2000. So it hasn't been properly adjusted in this room. But still, that's a pretty decent looking graph. Now, there's all kinds of things you can do with these graphs, but that gives you a good idea of what it looks like. I mean, as you come down through here, you can see that right here is the 20 hertz range. It's going well beyond that. It looks to be like around, well, see, this is the other thing you can do. You can take your cursor and set it right over this point and click on it, and it'll tell you exactly what the frequency is. So it looks like this thing doesn't even, let me zoom in so you can see, when you click on a spot, okay, like I did here. So you click over here, all right, so you click on a spot, and it tells you the dB right there, so 89.8 dB, and then you go down here, and it says 13.49 hertz, all right? So that's what's cool about this mouse, is you can click on anything and it'll tell you what that value is, all right? So this gives you a real good idea on exactly what you're seeing, okay? You can see exactly, all right, at this particular frequency, I've got a dip. At 19.9, I've got a dip. Now that's not a bad dip, not at all. But you know, you can identify things that way. So come back. All right, so that's the way you do the measurements. Now there are other things you can take a look at. You can run over here to Where is it? Okay. Sorry guys, things are a little bit different. Oh, okay. I see what's going on. Okay, so decay. We come down here and you have to hit generate. If you go to decay, it won't show exactly what's there. You have to generate the graph, okay? So let me see if I can, man, I really messed up on the size here. All right, that's not going to work, I don't think. Let me see if I can do that. No. All right, so there's some things I can't show you because I tried to make everything bigger. It has made it to where I can't really show. I mean, this is a horrible looking thing. You cannot tell what you've got going on. Let me see if the waterfall comes out any better. Oh, that might work. Let's see, there's the waterfall. Okay, so that gives you an idea of how long it takes for everything to fall off. And as you get closer to 20 hertz, stuff's going to stick around longer. But you know, this isn't a bad looking graph. This is pretty good. There's a lot of stuff in the middle, and what I mean by that is most subs will taper off right in here and just produce nothing in this range, whereas these subs produce a good amount in that range. So it's a good looking graph. So there's all kinds of things. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open some measurements that I've already taken from before, and I'll show you, okay, for example, the two PB2000s on my X2000 room correction. So before I had the Denon X6200, I had the Denon X2000, and the room correction on those is a little bit different. I think the room correction on the X6200 is a lot better, and it's also got sub EQ, which is even better than that. So you know, it's a better program, and I can actually show you that physically here, or by example, I should say. Okay, so all right, so we've got, go back to SPL and phase. That's your basic graph. Now I'm going to do the overlays because, again, my screen's kind of all messed up. But as you can see here, this is the measurements for the PB2000s on the X2000 graph. Now, it's not really that important that one's higher than the other. I don't know, don't get too hung up on that. What you want to look at is the flatness of the graph, okay? The graph is a little bit flatter on the X6200 graph, which is the light green one. Now you can change the colors of the graphs and all that stuff. There's all kinds of things you can do here. But I wanted to point out that it's a little bit, the line's a little bit flatter with the X6200 graph. It's just got a little bit better room correction. Now I'll show you another graph I've got here. And let's see. This is before. This is with the X6200 with the PB2000. So this is going to give you a much better idea of what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take out the measurement we just took and show you guys what I'm talking about here. This is the same subs with different room correction. So the actual response is a little bit flatter with the X6200. It's the kind of the yellow line is the X6200, and again, I know the graph for the X2000 is a little bit higher, but anyway, you kind of get the idea. You can go through and you can take all these measurements and you can find out what different things do. Now, for example, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you guys what happens when you do okay, let's go down to Odyssey here. Oops, that's not Odyssey. All right, go down to Odyssey. Now, we're going to do low frequency containment. Now, check this out. All right, we're just going to turn it down to 1, and I'll show you guys what this does. All right, so that's the only adjustment I made here. I'm going to take a measurement. Start measuring. I'll tell you right now, on that, I couldn't feel it. It just wasn't there. All right, and we're going to show you what that does. Look at that. That's what low frequency containment does to the sub output. Takes it down like you might as well not even have a subwoofer. All right, now I'm not saying it's bad to use or anything like that. What I'm saying is that if you're trying to rely on low frequency containment to get a subwoofer and have it in an apartment and then just use this all the time, you might as well not even have a sub, because it just takes it down so much. And that's just on level 1. So that gives you a good idea of what I'm talking about. Now another thing you can do is you can check out the different things. All right, so let's see. We got music. So we're going to do Dolby Surround, and we're going to take a measurement just using that setting. All right. Oh, and I need to take off that setting, don't I? All right. So let's go down to Odyssey and turn LFC off. And I gotta say, this is kind of irritating. Every time I make an adjustment, it turns reference on. I don't like reference. I like flat. All right. So we'll go back and let's take another measurement on the music setting. All right, and I can talk a little bit over this. It's not a great idea, but I don't think I'm putting out too much bass myself. There's the bass. All right. So now we'll go back to the overlays so we can compare it. And that was the purple line. So I'm going to go ahead and switch out my previous adjustments and just show you the difference between today's measurement and that measurement. Not a huge amount of difference, you know, in that in those two settings. So let's try the movie setting. All right, see if that makes any difference. I'm actually surprised. I expected more of a difference because it kind of just changes things. So let's see if there's a difference here. Okay, so let's go back to the overlays. Doesn't look like much of a difference at all, is there? Okay, so yeah, as you can see, there's not much of a difference between those two settings. Now let's try. I want to try and get you guys a little adjustment here. I was thinking I'd get some sort of change here. Let's try the DTS:X settings. But the whole idea is take a bunch of measurements, mess around with it, see what's going on, see what you're getting. As you change and try different things, you can get different results. Let's see here. Okay, we've got a result finally. Starting to think I'm losing my mind here. All right, so as you can see, there is a little bit of a difference between, this is the DTS:X line, that's the blue line, and the Dolby. So that gives you an idea of a little bit of a result. It seems to be just a hair less bass on the DTS:X, okay? Or DTS, what is it? Let me get it right. DTS Neural X, okay? The Dolby Surround was a little bit more bassy, okay? So that gives you an idea of what you can experience with all these different things. Just try out different settings. You can try out different, crossovers, all that stuff. You can try out, oh, here's a good one. I know this will change it. Let's see. Let's change the Odyssey setting from flat to reference. All right. I believe this is going to make a difference. Let's check it out. So we'll go ahead and measure it. Now another thing too is you want to take a bunch of notes on this stuff. That's one thing I haven't been doing, and I'll show you that real quick once this is done. Aren't you guys excited? I finally got sound on this thing, huh? All right. Okay, so let's check the overlays on that. Oh, did you make a liar out of me again? Okay, yeah, made a liar out of me. All right, so I think the reference versus flat is more in the upper range, apparently. But, all right, so let's go back over here to these different settings. Now, I haven't been keeping track of these settings as we go, and that's a huge mistake. All right, so this is reference. Okay, can't spell today. And then we want to do negative 25, music, Dolby, I think this is DTS:X actually. DTS, neural. I can't spell. Anyway, so you go through and you just put down your notes, and then you go to each one, and this is, you know, flat, and you just basically keep notes all in here. And then when you want to save them, all right, you just go ahead and go to this little button here. Let me zoom in for you. All right, so let me go to a, this is a setting I know. This is the first initial measurement, and this is PB16 Ultra and PB2000 uncorrected, or no, that's not correct. This is on dual PB2000 calibration. All right, negative 25 volume, blah, blah, blah. So we go through, I know what settings I normally have, but if you can document all the settings, then you can just copy and paste, and then as you make a change, you can just add it, change the thing that you changed, and keep going. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to save it, and then initial PB16 and PB2000 uncorrected. Because I want to have that there. If I don't mark that that's uncorrected, I won't realize that I haven't run room correction on it yet, okay? So that's where I'm saving it down here. Sorry you couldn't see that. But initial PB16 and PB2000 uncorrected. So I know next time I go and look at it, that was before I actually ran room correction with the PB16 Ultra. So that's kind of important to know because you can get confused. I know I've done this and I've thought, okay, this was this and this is that, and then sure enough, I messed up. So well, let me show you another file here. Let's see. Where is my oops? Dual PB. Alright, where is my too loud? Okay. I think that's it. Whoops, PB2000 too loud. Alright, so let's do the overlay of that. Now as you can see, there is a bit of a problem there. This was when I first started getting used to it. So when I say that you may want to use some earplugs, this up here was, you know, above 120 decibels and way down low too. So, you know, when I say don't get hung up on the graphs too much here, I'm measuring a PB16 Ultra against a PB1000, which is the green line. All right, those are the PB1000s in my room. It's obvious that the PB16 Ultra is going to be able to produce a lot more output than the PB1000s. But, you know, it's just the volume dial that I had it set at. It's not, you know, like I said, don't get hung up on the differences between, you know, the height on the graph. It'll vary. When you have the same settings, and like we said, we did the, let's see, where was it? We've got this. That's something you pay attention to because these were all at the same volume levels. And when we turned on the low frequency containment, it just took it down to nothing. So that's what you want to pay attention to. It's all in relative comparison. So, you know, again, I've got some graphs that show highs, some graphs that show low. It's more the shape and the general direction that you're looking for. So anyway, that's the basics of this program. Hopefully that helps a little bit in what you can do and what you can find with this program. I think it's great. I emailed John Mulcahy, I think it's John Mulcahy, and he's the one that actually created this program. I don't have any affiliation with him. It's just, and it's a free program. I think it's awesome that he put this out there. It's real useful in finding out if you've got problems. You know, I posted that ugly graph before of when I tried to do 4 subs and 2 were hardwired and 2 were wireless. Major mistake. Don't ever do that. Either go all wired or all wireless with your subs. And I highly recommend going wired because you've got so much delay that you can't adjust anything on your amplifier sometimes. So I think it's definitely a better way to go with wired. But, you know, I had 4 subs in here and I'm running, you know, what should be an amazing setup. Excuse me. Stop. And it was just, there was stuff missing because I had these giant cancellations going on because I was using wired with wireless. That's the kind of thing you can find by using this program. You can do this stuff and you can find out, oh, I've got a huge dip, you know, at 40 hertz because I've got cancellation going on. So, you know, and honestly, I'm surprised that I have as good a response as I do running completely different subs here. I mean, they're not completely different, but they're different enough that where you might run into some issues. But I'm going to recalibrate everything. But I know from what I'm hearing, it'll be a lot better when I have both subs as PB16s. But anyway, that gives you guys an idea. One more thing you can do. Let's go up to overlays. You can take a picture of these graphs. You go up here. Let me show you. You go up here to this point. You click take a picture. And then you can set all your adjustments. You can, you know, add notes and all that kind of stuff. So you can do this, and then you can, you know, save it, send it to people, whatever you want to do. It's, you know, again, I'm just barely scratching the surface on this stuff. We didn't get into the real, a lot of the stuff on the room decay and stuff like that, or you know, all that stuff. There's just so much more to this. But this gives you an idea on how you can actually take the measurements and just kind of get a better idea of what's going on your room. And, you know, again, try different listening positions. Put the mic over in that corner, on that chair, on that seat, whatever, and see where the response is terrible. You know, it just gives you an idea of what's going on. So hopefully that helps, guys. I appreciate you watching. And if you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell. And I'm making more videos like this, and I've got more to come on the PB16 Ultra. It's an awesome sub. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Sorry it took so long to get this up, but here you go. Thanks, guys.